welcome to this video in which I'm going to talk to you about 5 must-have exotic plants for your tropical effect garden. Now, before I start with my first choice, and I'll be honest with you, there will be some cheating going on with the other choices. Lorna is behind the camera.
I've got something to say.
Has got something to say.
Alright, so let's just ignore Simon because he's not interested. But what's more is look at this. There are sheeps. There are sheeps in the field in the back garden. The horse is gone and the farmer has put in sheep. And they're just like, oh, I love sheep.
Right, go on.
Anyway, back to the garden.
Right, okay.
I
I hope you enjoyed that viewing of our back garden. Anyway, your first, or my first choice for must-have plants for your garden is a pretty good one, and it's pretty obvious too. It is to have a palm. There are a few palms that you can choose from, such as a Bootia capitata, some of the various feather palms, or even a Jubia chilensis. That is a fantastic thing if you've got deep pockets. But for you, the most bulletproof palm that you can get is the Trachycarpus fortunei, the Chuzan palm. It is excellent, it's tough as old boots, and it will go down to minus 15 degrees Celsius. So as far as palms go, if you are only going to plant one, then that is the one to have. So my must-have plant of choice for position number 2 is, that's right, it is the hardy banana, and this particular species is the hardiest. It's Musa basjou, and like the palm previously, it is root hardy down to minus 15 degrees. Now there are a couple of other really hardy choices that we can talk about, such as the Musella lasiocarpa, which is like a dwarf wolf, really unusual, quite unusual, very rarely see it, but it is absolutely fantastic. And the old Abyssinian banana, which is the, what is it on?
No, I don't.
It's the ventriculosa morellii, absolutely superb, but it does need to be established before it can recover for the following year. So that's it, that's your number 2. You've got to have a banana. So this is where I start to get a bit woolly. Must-have plants, position 3 for your exotic garden are hardy evergreens. Now the reason for that is because over the winter period, most of the spring, not much happens in an exotic garden, so you've got to have those evergreens to give form and size and big leaves and something to look at until the real magic happens, which is about June, July time. So when I'm talking about evergreen plants, exotic looking, I'm looking at yuccas, I'm looking at phormiums, I'm looking at cordlines, all these sort of kind of jungly kind of architectural plants. So you've got a big choice there. I know it's not one, but they're so important to the look of the garden throughout the year. Okay, must-have plants number 4, and again I'm sort of pushing the edge a little bit cheaty, but it is red flowering plants. If you go to, if you ever get the chance, go to the jungles of South America where the hummingbirds are, you'll notice that they all go for red flowering plants. So red flowering plants are predominant in South America, and because of that colour palette of one colour, you get that tropical feeling, and you don't get that in, say, the UK, Europe, China. It is very it's not unique, but it's very specific to those sort of South American jungles. So if you fill your garden not exclusively of red flowering plants, but get in a good abundance, like single red flowering dahlias, lobelia tuber, which is an absolutely stunning plant. Fuchsias, especially like Fuchsia boliviensis, which I really like. You can do your research. We do a little bit of cheating with
it's got a red petunia in there.
In
it's alright. Okay, so the cacti, which has those massive red flowers too, and I absolutely agree with you, a little spot of red, it just looks, even the camellias we have are red, look fantastic.
Yeah, and the thing is, from the distance, unless if you're standing right in front of it, you can recognise and identify that it's a probably more common plant than you would expect. But from the distance, when you see these little flashes of red in amongst your luscious growth, it really does help give that tropical effect. So that is number 4. Okay, must-have plants number 5. and I'm talking about ground cover plants, probably the ranger plants that everybody forgets when they're trying to create that lush, exotic, jungly kind of feel, because they fill up the ground, everything is growing through it, and it really just sort of creates that dense impact. So when you're looking at ground cover plants, you want to use your imagination. You want to use big leaved hostas, you want to use a nice range of ferns, you want to use sedums, you want to really look into size, shape, leaf colour, but really just want that dense, lush, compact growth. So that's number 5, ground cover plants. Do not underestimate their use, they really lift an exotic garden. And if you've got any great choices for any must-have plants that you want to put in your garden that just knock the socks off everything else, then leave that in the comments anyway. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.